Updated, I, 23 male, punched my wife and will be going to jail tonight. Original post, my wife, 31 female, is mentally unstable. Her personality flipped when we got married. She can be very violent. Tonight, we got into an argument. She started throwing things at me. Then she started hitting me, so I punched her in the face. She told me she's going to call the police and locked herself in her guest room. I don't know if she actually called the police, but I'm sitting here waiting. I'm definitely going to be the one that goes to jail. I've never hit a woman before. I've never felt so low. Edit, wow. I wasn't expecting a lot of responses on this. Just got out of jail and will update later. You just need to learn to walk away from the situation or run away from the situation if need be and control your emotions. You've got to do that. Now for the updates. Update 1. I know a lot of people commenting wanted to know what I ended up doing after hitting my wife. I wish I could have responded, but I didn't have my phone. Honestly, I'm surprised at how many people saw my post and commented. To answer some questions because people believe I was groomed as my wife is older. We met when I was 19 and she was 27. She was the nicest and most amazing woman I had ever met. I fell for her immediately. She really had her shit together. She had a master's degree and was very successful in her field of work as an independent small business owner. She was married and divorced once before meeting me. Red flag in hindsight. We eloped 4 months ago. The house is leased, only my name is on the lease as my wife moved out of her apartment when we got married. After we got married is when she started lashing out and hitting me occasionally. And no, I didn't punch her in the face because I was mad. She threw a glass at me, it hit me in the head. It didn't shatter on my head. I fell to the ground and she got on top of me. I was trying to block her hits and reacted by punching her. Then she acted like the victim by crying and saying she was calling the police and she wasn't safe around me. Then locked herself in the guest room. However, now I'll tell you what happened after the post. Yes, I ended up going to jail Saturday night. Unfortunate that I got arrested the night before Easter Sunday because I couldn't see a judge until Monday. I was charged with domestic assault and battery. It is a misdemeanor because it's my first offense, but I could still face a year in jail. My wife didn't call the police immediately. She locked herself in the guest room after it happened. About 20 minutes after the incident is when I posted on Reddit. I honestly thought that she was bluffing about calling the police. But about 10 minutes after, there were 2 cops knocking and yelling at my front door. My wife came out of the guest room with a black eye. I immediately knew that I was screwed. I was wearing a white t-shirt that had some blood stains on it because my wife had busted my lip. Unfortunately, regardless of me saying that I was defending myself against a violent wife, they saw her black eye and the blood on my shirt, and I was arrested. As of right now, I'm not allowed to be around my wife. I have a public defender as I can't afford my own lawyer. She has left her house, so luckily I can stay there. I have no idea where she went. She took my dog, though. She didn't even want the effing thing. I'm calling a divorce lawyer and will be filing as soon as possible. I'm going to try and get the charge dropped as well. My attorney is pretty confident that it will go nowhere as I have a clean record and my wife has domestic charges on her record. I knew about this, but I was stupid and believed her when she said her husband hit her all the time. Now look at me and I'm claiming self-defense. I was also fired from my job too because I was in jail on Monday. And as of right now, I probably won't be getting another because there's no way that I can pass a background check with an ongoing legal problem. I'm going to be setting up cameras up around my house in case my wife decides to show up. I still have her number on my phone unblocked, but will not be reaching out or responding if she reaches out to me. Essentially, my life is ruined. My wife is a horrible human being, and I could face jail time or homelessness. I don't speak to my family as they don't like my wife, and this is something that I don't think I can tell them about because they warned me that she was trouble. Edit 1. Thank you for the advice, guys. I called my parents and told them I'm coming over tonight. They don't know what happened yet, but I'm going to talk to them. Edit 2. I spoke to my parents tonight. I hadn't spoke to them since I got married to my wife, which was 4 months ago. They are not at all supportive of the decision as well as me dating her. At the time, I didn't know why. Obviously, I know that now that they were right. They honestly were happy to see me when I showed up. They thought that I was bringing my wife over, so I'm sure they were even happier to see that I came alone. I told them everything, and I'm not gonna lie, it was really emotional. My parents were more than understanding. They're paying for a lawyer not only to fight my charges, but for the divorce as well. My mom is walking me through how to press charges against her for the abuse as well and for stealing my dog. They said that I could stay at the house with them if I felt safer there, but I declined. I thought they'd be all, "I told you so," but it wasn't like that at all. I also filed for a divorce. She should be served at her office sometime soon. Update 2. Hey everyone, I wasn't going to update because for me this issue is over, but I have a lot of messages and understand that many people are curious as to how things are going after the initial night with me getting arrested. The charges were tossed. My wife admitted that she exaggerated everything and told police and my attorney that I was not abusive and that she would appreciate if the charges weren't pursued any further. That was good enough because I was no longer facing a misdemeanor. Shortly after that, she came to the house, which now has cameras, with a bunch of my favorite snacks and drinks, as well as a long apology note. She was in tears, saying that she didn't mean to ruin my life, and she was so sorry that night that she was seeing red and barely remembers anything. When I showed up, I didn't say anything. I also didn't accept her apology gift or letter. All I asked was where my dog was. She tried to act confused and said that she didn't have him. I know my wife, her face gets red when she lies. I told her if she doesn't return my dog, I'm pressing charges as well as getting a restraining order and filing for divorce. She broke down and told me that she did take him and had no intention to harm him, but he did run away when she left the door open. She said that she looked for him and couldn't find him. He isn't chipped. He's gone. We aren't going to find him. I'm torn up over it. I told her to leave my property. A few days later, she was served divorce papers. Again, shows up at my house crying, saying that she's sorry for everything, that she loves me, and she wants to save her marriage. She said that I can't throw away what we had over an animal. While my dog is a huge reason why I'm going through with this, I got pissed and said that she was abusive, she was manipulative, and she needs therapy and medical help for her problems. It's way more than my dog. I told her she is lucky I haven't pressed charges and have only filed for divorce. Well, she hit me again, this time on camera. I called the police. When the police showed up, she was in hysterics and tried to turn it on me, saying that she hit me in self-defense and that we were going through a divorce and I wouldn't let her leave. She didn't know that I had cameras. She was arrested and I was granted a restraining order. We are getting divorced. I've gone to every animal shelter close by. My dog is nowhere to be found. It's been a few weeks. I'm assuming the worst. My wife's ex-husband reached out to me. He's still friends with a few of my wife's friends, and they filled him in on the situation. He told me that she did something similar to him, but he let it continue for longer than he should have because she is really manipulative and would cry and apologize and seem genuinely remorseful and willing to take the steps necessary to change. He told me not to look back or fall for any of it. But yeah, as happy as I am that my legal issues are over and I'm getting out of an abusive marriage, to me it's not a happy ending because I lost my best friend since I was 16. I let him down. I put my dog in a situation where he was unsafe. I miss him so much. Thank you everyone for the kind messages and comments. You really have helped me through this. Edit. My dog has been found safe. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for wanting to be intimate with my wife? Plus update. Original post. I, 28 male, dated my wife, let's call her Rena, 26 female, for 3 years before we got married. And during that time, she made it known that she would like to remain a virgin until our marriage. We both met at a religious event and are both church-going and religious, so this was not a problem. She is an overall wonderful person, the most caring, loving, and sweetest wife I could ever ask for, and not to mention beautiful as well. She takes care of me and even took some time off to care for my mother when she was in the hospital due to a car accident, and has no problem with babysitting my sister's kids, 5 and 7, who love her very much. Everyone tells me how lucky I am, and I feel the same. We have been married for 4 months now and live together in my apartment. Her grandma had been sick for years, and her dying wish was to see Rena get married before she passes on. Rena is the only girl among 8 cousins, so she was very special and close to her grandparents. Knowing this, I proposed to her as her whole family and mine have basically become one, and it was a no-brainer at that point. We got married in the courthouse within a week after knowing about the prognosis. We went straight to the hospital and had a small party there with her since she had a private room and the hospital staff allowed it. Sadly, she passed away about 17 days later. Later that night, after getting to the hotel room from the wedding, she tells me that she thinks we should wait until we marry in a church because she considers this marriage legal but not anointed by God and is not right. We cuddle, kiss, but then when it becomes heated, she stops me midway and tells me the time will come and we will enjoy it. Our families are planning a big church wedding for us in April when we will be fully yoked, but I don't know how I could wait that long. It is terribly uncomfortable cuddling in bed with her and wanting to make love with her knowing that I can't. She moved in with me in my one-bedroom apartment a month after our marriage, so it's been 3 months now of cohabitating temporarily before we moved to a bigger place. I feel we are in every way a married couple, not newlyweds, but more like an old couple because of lacking in the intimacy department. We do groceries together, clean, cook, take care of each other. Other than that, she says that she believes her first time will be special since we will have it during our honeymoon in Spain right after the wedding. We have both been a big fan of Spain. Anyway, the other night we were watching a movie and started kissing that gradually ended up getting more heated. She stops me after some time and we had an argument because yes, I know I was wrong and didn't control myself well. I guess I should have asked what marriage and sex really meant to her before proposing instead of assuming, but I also think that I'm being deprived of something so important in a relationship, which I do agree with. She didn't speak to me for 2 days, and just a while ago we had an honest conversation and have decided that she should move back to her parents until our actual church wedding in April. We originally thought living together since we were legally married would be a good start at knowing each other, but I guess this is for the best. I still have this nagging feeling in my head. Am I the a-hole for wanting intimacy with my wife? Also, I never once forced myself on her. Everything we do is consensual and I've always stopped as soon as she says no because I respect her. I guess I'm just frustrated most of all and I want to know if I'm the a-hole for feeling this way. Not at all. Edit. Thanks everyone for your feedback. I was reading everything and appreciate your points. I do want to point out that we are not getting divorced or annulled, and I know that I have no right to force anything into her. I just wanted to let out how I felt. Also, like I mentioned in the comments, we would like a larger wedding, although it takes longer to plan since her and my relatives are available in April and have already taken PTO. I will wait for her, of course, and I value her virtues and how strong she is with her principles. We didn't talk about sex before the courthouse wedding, I guess because we both had differing assumptions on the relationship, and despite her wanting the church wedding before we moved in, she offered to move in as a compromise since she knows what she's asking is also not easy. I don't think another small gathering is necessary because at this point, it will all just be for show and takes away the uniqueness of the church wedding and the feelings involved if we had too many wedding-related events. I want her to feel special on that day because she is, and to feel like how a bride does on that one special day. Legally, though, she has started using my surname because she acknowledges we are married, but that our church wedding will wed us in all ways. We had the courthouse wedding, but didn't invite our minister because, as I mentioned, we want the church wedding to be our big and special day only. What I meant by not controlling myself is my frustration, not necessarily my desires to take it further. Also, her parents have never told us that we had to wait or our church. They consider us married already. I guess for my wife, and it's more of a symbolism of marrying in church and for the honeymoon to be in every sense of the word. Having sex and then going on a honeymoon defeats the purpose, and I also think that it would be great to do it then. We fly to Spain the next day after the wedding and don't think we would even have the energy for anything the night of the church wedding. She is not asexual as well to clear things up. I know everyone doesn't believe in abstinence or applying Bible principles in life, and I understand that, but I request to please respect ours. Right now, she will be staying with her parents, but we are planning on talking more to a counselor as well as her minister if we could change any arrangements, if needed, about our thoughts on sex and our unique circumstances. Thank you. Now for the updates. Update 1. It's been a while since I posted about my situation with my wife and just wanted to give a little update. I talked to Rena the day after I posted it and talked about what exactly is holding her back, and if she has any concerns, she could open up to me and talk about it like a married couple. If she even considered us one. She told me that she had seen the post and had actually read a lot of the comments you guys posted and realized it stems from her feeling everything was so rushed and was not how she expected to get married in her head and what comes after that. She wanted to make her Nana happy, but at my expense. It dawned on her after a small party in the hospital how she didn't feel ready for it because she didn't feel married, thus letting me know later on that she wanted to wait. She has apologized about how she handled things and thanked me for being patient. I have done the same, and we have been talking every day, although she still lives with her parents. We changed our plans altogether, and we have decided to do an elopement and be married in Rome. We contacted a relative we have living there who set everything up from the venue, photographer, and the minister. We decided on a small ceremony by the lake with just us, the minister, our relative, and the photographer. We are leaving in a week and are very excited about it. And since we will be there, we will have our honeymoon in Spain right after as we planned. It's only a few hours away. The April wedding will still push through for our family and friends as more of a vow renewal reception. We have informed them about it, and they understand how in our case, which has been very unique, and are very happy and supportive regardless. Our elopement is simply a ceremony for the both of us, not thinking about the other people for once. We are already looking at a bigger apartment for us when we return from our trip. Serena could have her own working studio as my apartment is too small. We'll be updating if we can after the trip, as your input has really put things in perspective. Thanks for everything, and it really did help us to look deeper into the foundation of our principles and priorities. Update 2. It's been 6 months since I posted on this and just want to give you guys an update. Rena and I finally had our beautiful church wedding last month. It was a sunny and warm day. She just looked stunning, and it was better than anything we both ever imagined. Our families helped a lot in the wedding preparations, and as I mentioned in the previous post, my wife did move out to live with her parents until we got married in a church. We made sure to talk thoroughly about how we felt and if this was what she really wanted. We met every week and talked every night until the day we finally got married in church. Mid-February, there were talks and doubts about the relationship and if our expectations of marriage aligned and whether it was best to hold off on the wedding to see if we were indeed compatible, and if our courthouse wedding was merely an obligation we had to fulfill for her, Nan, before passing. It was difficult for us. We talked about her fears, and she explains it was just that she had this belief in her mind about keeping herself pure on her big day, and it was purely hers alone and not her family or anybody else. We did go through marriage counseling to help more in dealing with her situation. During this time, I moved to a larger place and found a better paying job and got busy. She started working from home and accompanied her brother, who moved to Japan, to help him get settled. She was there for about 2 weeks and actually had a nice break. We both had a lot of time, and it helped strengthen our relationship, to be honest, and to realize how much we really wanted to be with each other. We just got back from our 2-week honeymoon to the number 2 on our bucket list, New Zealand. We originally planned to go to Spain, but we decided to change itineraries since we planned to travel to Europe in the future, so Spain could wait. It was a wonderful idea, but very exhausting and a costly trip, but so worth it. We drove in a camper van and stayed out at the campgrounds every night under the stars, hiked a lot, and basically just spent time together enjoying nature. And yes, for everybody waiting for an update, we had our first intimate moment there. The first time was pretty uncomfortable for her. We were also in a van, so not the most pleasant place, and she still has this thing where she can't stop overthinking every time we are going to do it. Ha ha. We are getting better at it though, and have actually slowly learned each other's wants and dislikes. She actually initiates it from time to time, and it made me happy but also relieved that she has urges to do it and letting me know. Her family moved her stuff to my new place while we were on vacation, so it was a relief not to have to move more stuff again after a long, exhausting trip, and just be able to rest after coming home. Jet lag is still really bad, but just thought of writing this now while my wife is sleeping next to me. We are both scared for the future as newlyweds, but also excited for our little family. Rena and I hope to have kids in the near future, but for now, we have decided on becoming fur parents first and looking into shelters once we are fully settled. She has also read the post I wrote before it just recently and found the comment about having sex and skydiving to be hilarious, and she is quite curious about us doing it, LOL. If that does happen, that's a whole post by itself. That's all for today. If you're enjoying this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you.